It's time now for Faith Friday, and we are very excited for our next guest. She's a New York Times best-selling author and professor at Duke University, and she's here to teach us now how to recognize all of the blessings in our life.
Yes, we are so excited. We love Faith Friday. Those words of insight and inspiration are all in her new book, The Lives We Actually Have. Please welcome Dr. Kate Bowler. Nice to have you.
Yes. Friend of the show.
Yes, friend of the show. This is not your first time. Yes. I know. So we were talking during the commercial break about how beautiful this book is. And it's a really good read because it has 100 different blessings for imperfect days. And you really focus on counting your blessings, even in the hard times, not just the good times. And you have personal experience with this. Tell us about your experience and also how we can do this.
Sure, yeah, it's been a strange, wild ride, because in my 20s, I studied televangelists, spent my whole youth interviewing people who believe that life should always be very #blessed. So life should be happy, healthy, wealthy, whole. And then I spent my 30s with a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and I started to think a lot more about what happens when we don't get that #blessed feeling. And we don't always have the relationship we want and the body that we hoped for. So what then do we get to say that's still spiritually true? So Jessica and I wanted to write blessings that are for all the rest of us. For, you know, that sometimes we have the lives we actually wanted, and then sometimes it's the ones we actually have. So this is to look at life as being both the beautiful and the terrible and the lovely and the awful and everything in between.
And you say what's really important is, especially in times of heartache and frustration, that's when we need to be looking for those blessings. And I got to say personally, like, that's how I've always liked to live. Why is it that it is so critical? What does it do to us? What do we benefit from that?
Yeah, because we have to kind of thread the needle on not just trying to constantly reframe everything into like, this is wonderful, but blessing became a really beautiful habit for me, say, in the middle of chemotherapy. If I'm thinking, okay, God bless this day, suddenly I'll notice the kindness of the patient beside me, the weird nurse who has the blood lab in the sub-basement so far from the window that he lets me pretend he's a vampire, and that he uses my blood for his own purposes. Is that for everyone? No. But it lets me have a very different kind of day if I can say, God, where are you in this day? And I think that's the surprise. So it doesn't always have to be like the same exact thing as optimism. It can also be a request. God, you said you'd be here in the hardest and the best times. Bless this day.
Well, you've been through so much, and a lot of people out there have, and sometimes you just feel stuck. You feel like you can't feel grateful for what you do have. What do you do in those moments?
Yeah, because grateful can feel, it's almost like you have to like ramrod your circumstances into one mold. And then we find we almost have, we're less honest with people, then we often ask for less help because we're so busy being positive. And so I think this gives us an opportunity to say, what are the beautiful and true things I can say in the midst of it? And I think that unsticks some of our positivity only language.
Yeah, it's all about acknowledging where you are. Well, literally, the title of your book, The Lives We Actually Have, acknowledging that moment and living in it and being present.
What are your words of wisdom to lead us into the weekend?
Well, I was thinking about so I have this ridiculous 9-year-old, and he wears
I have a 9-year-old, so I know exactly what you mean.
He wears this enormous blanket as he eats his cereal every morning. And I come down the stairs and I see the light pouring in, and it lights up the little hairs on the back of his neck, and I think, God bless this ordinary day. And then after, he has this demand for post-cereal snuggles, like the milk made him cold, and so we really need to rectify the situation. So I wrap him up in blankets, and I think, you know, this isn't how I would have chosen to be a mom, struggling with cancer and with chronic pain. So I just get to say, God, be here in this, in the garbage and the beautiful. Let's just bless it all.
Well, they are lucky to have you as a mom because you have such a beautiful, calming energy, and thank you for bringing that to GMA3.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you. And your shooting gets stuck this time. Thank goodness.
It was the worst.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kate Bowler, for being here. And make sure you pick up a copy of The Lives We Actually Have wherever books are sold. That's what happened last time she came on GMA3. Her shoe got stuck in the chair.
Prisoner of this chair.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.